Okay guys, let's talk about editors. Before getting into these fancy solutions here, let's talk for a bit about Notepad. Some people will say, dude, are you serious? Yes, I am, because Notepad is a thing that will force you to do stuff manually. And if you're a beginner and you're doing stuff manually, you will learn faster. No kidding. All these fancy options will help you a great deal. Okay, you will have all kind of help from all sides, like in a color, in a syntax completion, or basically code completion when editor is helping you to finish your command. In a Notepad you don't have that. You just have you staring at the screen trying to type correct commands, and that's awesome. That's how you're gonna learn much faster. But if you don't like this basic option, still you can go with any of these. Now, why this thing will work with Notepad? Because when you're creating websites, you are just creating dedicated textual files. Okay, textual files. They are not desktop applications. They're not encrypted. You can see source code. Your hosting company can see your source code because you're talking about HTML files. Okay, so this is not C++ where you are creating desktop application, so you need to double click it and then something will happen with your machine. These things are completely transparent to you and unfortunately to attacker if they break into machines of hosting company, but that's life. Okay, that's why you need to learn about security. Anyway, back to HTML options. So one of these options is Edit Plus. Okay, Edit Plus, check this URL. I was using it for a couple of years because very simple interface. It's very neutral, like classical Windows stuff, no fancy colors, but there is a lot of options here. So maybe for beginners it's much more options that they need. So if you like it, just try it. It will not cost you a lot. It's free to use for 30 days and then you need to basically pay it. But if you really like it more than other editors, then sure, just pay that thing. Okay, still 30 days, it's enough of time to check this stuff. Okay, Edit Plus, remember that recommendation to be checked. Now let me grab some water. Okay, next thing, Sublime Text version 3. A lot of people on YouTube are using it to record tutorials, so that's the reason why I'm mentioning it. Personally, I don't use it a lot. I use Atom much more, but some people like it, how it looks like, the options, the simplicity and stuff, so it's worth mentioning. So honestly, I don't use it like daily, but some people may love it and it's worth mentioning. Okay, so Sublime Text 3, you can type that in Google and you're gonna end up here. Try it. If you like it, buy it, because if you don't buy it, you will have those, I think, pop-ups on a screen every now and then. It's not nothing aggressive, it's just there to remind you that you can buy it if you like it. Now, UltraText Editor. This is not editor, this is absolute beast. I mean, it's huge, it's so cool, it's totally corporate enterprise type of stuff. I remember using this thing 2 decades ago, and actually it is 25 years old. I was using it, if I remember correctly, for some when I was learning reverse engineering and stuff. In that time that was relatively popular, I was younger and stuff, so I was using it to break into applications and stuff through hack options and stuff like that. So absolutely magnificent beast. It's not editor, it's beast, dudes. So it's free for 30 days and then you can support that company. Interesting thing here is they do have integrated FTP client, so you can just get from UltraEdit into your hosting company, upload files, download files, change permissions and stuff. You have SSH, which is encrypted communication, let's say, and you have Telnet, which is similar to SSH, but it's not encrypted, so people can intercept that protocol. Well, that's it, it's old protocol, it's half a century old protocol, but you have it in UltraEdit if you like it. Right, so next thing is another beast, which is Visual Studio Code, and I completely understand if this is overkill for beginners, but The thing is that a lot of corporations are using it because that's like a common ground for all programmers in big corporations. They just want to have one thing handling a lot of stuff, and they don't want to think about many individual solutions for editing stuff and such a thing. So you have everything here, and a lot of things are like it's just nicely packed with a lot of options. Okay, and that's why companies are forcing basically Visual Studio to programmers. I saw that in some companies. Well, that's how life is. This is just my 2 cents on that. But try Visual Studio Code. If you like it, use it. Another thing that I actually use in my tutorials and daily work is Atom. And Atom is, where is that thing? I use it because it looks like a neutral from default. Okay, I extremely hate when I need to set up my working environment. Like I need to change the colors and sides and sizes and go into... No, I don't like that. This is just a waste of time for me. So when I fire this Atom, I have everything like Blanco default on a screen. It's like it is, it's neutral, it's not hurting my eyes, the colors are decent, fonts is decent size. I love it. So I use it, check this out, because I'm kind of weird. I use it for PHP and for Django mainly. And when I need to use like classical HTML and CSS and JavaScript, I use Notepad++. That's how I roll. I don't know how to even explain this. Who cares? Anyway, but that's me. Right, so I use Atom like daily. Okay, so next thing, File Manager. If you're old-schooled kind of guy like I am, sometimes I double into some old type of servers, into old source code, into like C++ applications and stuff. Sometimes I reverse engineer some applications, and that's where I use File Manager. See? Weird old school stuff. Now, yes, File Manager, but there is also view option here and edit option here, and you can just go through your source code, or you can type your source code, okay, because of protection, because sometimes you just want to read some code and sometimes you want to write it. But that's me. As I said, I use this old Soviet stuff because I like it. I just like this old interface. I don't know why, I was always like that. Right, so File Manager, definitely grab it, it's free. It has a bunch of options. I mean, it's totally magnificent. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Right, so when I am on OpenBSD machines, because I don't use Linux a lot, I use BSD systems. When I use BSD systems, I use OpenBSD mostly. And when I'm there, I do use Kate. So normally, if you want to fix some configuration files on a remote system, you're going to use things like V, that 4 decades old editor, something like that, who cares. But sometimes you just want a nice graphical environment. If I need that, I'm gonna use Kate on OpenBSD. It's very neutral, I like it, it's free, it's available. I have it in my OpenBSD server out there. It will be installed in a couple of minutes, and that's cool. So that's definite advice if you want to switch to BSD and if you want to watch my tutorials on OpenBSD. I have it on my channel. And final conclusion here, and this is my definite recommendation if you are a beginner and if you are on Windows, use Notepad++, no kidding. Here's why. Let me grab that thing. This thing is so simple that it will totally focus you on code that you're going to do. Some editors, they do have a lot of options, and it's just overkill, guys, it's just overkill. But in Notepad++, you wanna type everything manually. There will be specific help from side of editor, but not too much. So as a beginner, you're gonna remember faster. And yet another option that I like here is search and must replace option. So if you're working with hundreds or thousands of HTML or PHP pages, and if you need to change one thing there, then manually you're gonna need ages for that. But here I can just find them in the system with a search option, and then I can do replace all things that I need to replace, and I can replace all in all open documents. Even using regular expression, those cryptic commands that find specific type of text in a bunch of code or other text. So don't worry about that. It is just a different way to find specific things, like manually through code. But don't worry about that, as I said. So you're probably wondering, well, how do you find those files, those thousands of files that you need like change automatically? Well, yet another tool that I definitely recommend is the Total Commander. Not just because of, check this out, search and replace options that are awesome. There is also mass rename bulk option here. Like when you go to files and to multi-rename tool, you can construct your request in a way that you will find those files, those extensions, you're gonna put it into results, like one box, and then you will just grab those things and paste it here in Notepad++. That will automatically open it, and then you use that thing inside Notepad++, replace all in all open documents, and you're gonna save you 2 days of work like instantly. Because there is nothing worse than manually changing statical website. Absolute hell. Yeah, where I was. Yeah guys, that's pretty much it. So allow me to drink a little bit. Anyway, from now on we're gonna use in this series Notepad++, and also I'm gonna use that in a CSS playlist that I'm going to redo. So yep, that's pretty much it. In the next tutorial we're gonna start rolling our first HTML page. Don't worry guys, it will be simple. This is not C++. We're gonna do that because if I can do it, you can do it. Yep, I'm gonna shut up. Thank you for watching. See you next one.